You're probably wondering why Maintenance Man is standing here with a double-decker Dana Dolly setup. This isn't an ordinary setup. This one actually rotates. So we can do a full 360 degrees and dolly in and out. So you're probably wondering where you can get one. Well, you can get it at MrDogPoop.com for $10,000. Or you can stick around and I'll show you how I built it for under $200. It seems like every time Mr. Dog Poop gets a new toy, I get more work. He got this Movmax grip dolly, and now he wants me to make it so that it spins and goes back and forth. Right now we have this mounted on a Cartoni P20. It's a little bit lightweight for what the load is. It's fine. You do get a little bit of dip in the ends. It's not bad. This is an extremely heavy camera, but it should be on a little bit more stable platform. I'm gonna go ahead and retire this Movmax grip dolly, and I'm gonna show you how we built the setup. So there's actually only 3 parts. There's a plate in the center. We put it at 10 inches. We drilled 4 holes in it, and then holes to mount it to our holder. The ends are just 1/2 inch by 2 inch aluminum, and then we put a 5-inch piece between them to keep them apart. And the reason we went 5 inches was so that these could open up and they'd be free in here. One is 10 inches, one is 12 inches. And we used the 10 inches because we made some other pieces that were 10 inches and they're compatible. I took a 12 by 12 by 1/2 inch aluminum plate, drilled 4 holes in it for the clamps, and then attached Pro-Aim holder to fit over the Bazooka mount. So this is a Pro-Aim spin rig for a Bazooka. This actually spins around. It's super heavy duty, and it has a brake on it to stop it. So that fits right on a Bazooka mount with 1 bolt. You can set it up and make it stationary, and it just gives you the opportunity to get that rotation. As I said, this stand is a little bit too lightweight for what we're doing here, but for the demonstration, it's fine. There's a handle here on the bottom, and we just tighten that up, and that's gonna keep it on there. So that's the rotation. This piece is around $100 including shipping from Pro-Aim. The other piece is part of a riser that we unbolted the top riser part and put it onto the plate. Those 2 pieces are gonna cost you about $200. The plate was $65. You got a dozen clamps at $3 a piece, about $36. You're looking at probably $300 to set this up, not including the speed rail. We set the top up at 12 inches, which is pretty standard for the dollies, but we're using some dollies that we made by hand at 10 inches, so we set the bottom rails at 10 inches. If you haven't seen the video on our 360-degree spin rig, I suggest you watch it. We're gonna go ahead and take this off, bring in the spin rig, bolt it to that, and see what kind of stability we have. We did this with 1.5 inch speed rail, which is our favorite, because the clamps are only $3 a piece. So here's our finished spin rig. We made a bigger top, we put it on wheels so we could move it around, and now we're gonna take it apart. This was also set up at 10 inches, so this will fit directly into here, and we'll be able to spin. This is not going to be flexible. So we wouldn't normally have it on the wheels if we're using it. We would take this all apart, put it on the ground, brace it. And for those of you that have been following us, now you're starting to see some of these tools come together and why we were crazy enough to build them in the first place. Tighten these up. This is not level because we don't have it leveled. The unfortunate thing about this is it doesn't have a lock. So we don't actually have any way to hold it still, but it's going to be a lot more steady. You may have to use some sandbags or something, but you'll now be able to get a whole range of composite shots that you can't normally get with other rigs. This is extremely heavy because we want to be able to put a big load on it and spin the camera around on it. So, if we're filming an object on our spinner, we can now spin and dolly in or dolly out and around and around and around. This is a lot more stable. This is, I mean, you can see this is bumping up and down because there's flexibility in the rails, but this is not going to twist on the bottom. So if you had a 4 or 5 foot piece in here, obviously it's going to be more stable. If you wanted to put supports in between here, you could do that as well. Mr. Dog Poop asked me to do some crazy things. I don't think this is one of them. I think this is going to be extremely useful. If you haven't seen Mr. Dog Poop's review of the Movmax Dolly, I suggest you watch it. This is an amazing dolly that you can get for $299. Mr. Dog Poop wants me to drag this shit out of here. This fucking thing. This fucking, fuck. You know how heavy this thing is? Mr. Dog Poop wants me to drag the shit out of here. He's got so much crap. And this idiot keeps building shit for him.